What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another public video for newbiologyclinic.com. And I just wanted to dive a little bit into something that I find interesting and might be a little out there for some of you who aren't used to this type of thought, but that's okay. You might not agree with it. You might agree with it. All I can say is that it might something might catch your interest along the way. So with that, one of the things that I've just, been pondering a lot of is, you see a lot of videos online if you go on social media or just looking around you in general, where you see newer buildings having more of this modern look, which is very, many would say very bland, nothing beautiful or, just elegant or eloquent about it compared to some of the older architecture, right? You see complete contrast in the way things were made back then compared to now. And there's a beauty with it. Look at the old churches, look at the old buildings, look at the attention to detail. Um, these types of things, when you look deeper into them, you start to see it at the very least, hopefully can see that they are more than just these buildings that we've been told. They are actually the geometry of nature, geometries of life. They carry healing properties using sound. This is what the cymatic patterns of these churches are, that you see on the sides, the big, massive geometrical shapes you see along the sides in the front of the building, is dealing in relationship with the organ. You have to understand that you're dealing with sound healing. Many believe that it's an energy charging station, healing station. They were that in the past. And that's a whole nother conversation. But my point in bringing that up is when you see how people go to these places or had gone to these places to heal their spirit energetically. You hear about healing that took places in these churches, in these buildings, and there's something about it that brings an energy to you when you go to visit them yourselves. Because I've been to a lot of these places in the world, and I know a lot of people can agree with it. It has a certain energy to it, and so all that to be said, I want to get everyone to understand that when you knock those down, or when the days in this world knock these places down, you're changing the, hold on one second. You're changing the energetic flow of an area, of a space. You are thwarting the ability for whatever is happening to move efficiently when you knock places down, obviously, or you cover places up, or you add, Wi-Fi, EMFs. Like, you have to understand there's so much happening on a vibrational level around us and also within us. And it affects us, and we also affect our surrounding areas. So if you can understand that, the very least, this component of it, what I'm ultimately getting at is, we see the downfall of a lot of these places. And this isn't a doom and gloom, but it is an understanding and a recognizing that when we can get charged from these places, whether it's nature, these buildings, the older buildings, and they can charge us in so many ways. When they're not there, or we don't get around them and we're on fluorescent lights a bunch of times, we're not in nature, we're not getting the charges from places that we need to. And when we're not getting the charge from places we need to, a lot of times our body depends on getting it from obviously ourselves, whether it's us breathing, moving, training, or which tends to happen a lot of times is that people try to get it from other people. And so I think that this is what we're seeing and witnessing a lot of now is that with the destruction of buildings, the cities being overbuilt, being really populated, a lot of these beautiful places that would charge people are again being taken out or being taken away. What it leaves people with is going, okay, well, I need to either get out to nature, or I need to try to move myself, or I need to get it from someone else. And when people aren't getting out in nature, they aren't getting it from within themselves, breathing, exercise, training, however you want to look at it. What they are trying to do is, again, they're getting it from somewhere else. And a lot of times I tend to believe that news outlets and places are trying to take our energy because of what they're putting on the screens. And once it grabs our attention, it has our energy. And I think this is where a lot of us are feeling depleted. It is our surroundings, it's our neighborhood, it's how we view the world. And Right now, we're not building new buildings, right? We're not able to do that. And I understand that. And I'm trying to give solutions here to seeing what is happening or how I view it. And you can disagree with me 100%. That's fine. But if we understand that we used to get it from buildings and we got it from nature and we got it from obviously within ourselves, the things we ate. And if they're messing with the foods, they're messing with everything around us. What can we do? Well, we can get outside. We can make positive interactions with people around us, making sure that we choose the people that we want to be around that are going to uplift us, help charge us, and likewise, and vice versa. Rather than surrounding ourselves with people that we want to debate and fight all the time, rather than staying in fluorescent rooms all the time, getting out, getting our feet in the soil, charging with nature, making it a point not to be on our screens all day. Not that you can't use them, but learning how to get out there and get in nature, get, eyes closed, be with the sun, breathe, gently move the joints, let the body flow. These are the types of things that we can do to start to increase the charge around us in our own lives, in our immediate lives, those around us. And over time, this is what also with a positive community of people around you, you can start uplifting each other, making the change that we want to see rather than hoping, praying that somebody else is going to do it for us because nobody is. And this isn't a doom and gloom. I'm just trying to hopefully give people an opportunity to go, wow, is this why I'm feeling this way? Is this why I'm feeling so down? Is because it's going, something's wrong with me? Well, no, it's something going on all around us and we're all dealing with it. But this is the silver lining of going, yes, that can happen, but we have a say and an impact on what happens in our immediate lives every single day, every single moment. It's just whether or not we choose to make that choice. We might not get it from the buildings. We might not go to a church where there's an organ. We might not go to a meeting spot with friends and community all that often, but we can start small with, like I said, getting outside. As the spring rolls around, it's the perfect time to get as much of the charge from nature as you possibly can. There's a lot of sun, there's a lot of soil, and a lot of blooming happening, which means there's a lot of charge in the ground. That charge we can take from by being barefoot. They've done many tests and studies to show that there is a frequency earthing, as some would call it, that is occurring as we, uh, you know, test the soil, test the ground, test the energy that's coming literally from the ground. So if we can start doing things like that, just getting the ball rolling and going, I'm doing this with an intention. What is my intention with all this? It is going, I am going to recharge what I can in my life for myself first and foremost, and then those around me when it's appropriate. And the more we start doing that, this is where the inspiration starts to come in. This is where the thoughts, the critical thinking, because we cannot think in a creative, in a productive way as much when we are in fight or flight in this fear state, when we're depleted. We can't think of entrepreneurial type, how can we make these changes and fix these problems in our immediate lives first and foremost if we're in a state of survival, right? So when we can allow ourselves to not be in that place all the time, know when to move in and out of it appropriately, we can start making the changes we want to see. We can start within ourselves. We can start then inspiring others, working with others, coming up with game plans, coming up with new ideas, not being dependent or feeling that there's nothing for me. There's no hope for me, because then you'll get exactly what you're saying. You're speaking into the world. Your body's going to hear you very loud and clear. And if that's not what you want, but you're just looking for how to make the changes, understand, hey, it's going to start within you. Your surrounding areas might not have the charge you once had, but it is what it is. Instead of being scared, we move forward. We figure out a new plan. Great. Can I breathe? Is the sun out? Can I get my feet on the soil? Can I take another breath? Can I say I love you and good positive affirmations or kind things to the people around me? Can I say those to myself? Can I allow myself to smile? Can I allow myself to laugh? Can I give myself the permission to take a breath and slow down? So these are things that we can do to recharge ourselves. And then, as I said, our communities and everyone around us. So I hope this helps. Just not to put doom and gloom. I'm just trying to paint a bigger picture of all this, and that, um, this is a time where we get to really see who we are and what we're made of. And some of us that might be scary, but for those of you who want to take the challenge, it's a beautiful time. It's a scary time, but it's a beautiful time. And with the beauty comes a lot of learning, a lot of growth, a lot of self-reflection. So I hope this gives you that inspiration to do that rather than stay in the fear and the anxiety, because I know we're all experiencing it to some degree. But much love, everybody. I hope this helps. Keep me posted with any questions you have. You can find me at newbiologyclinic.com. And obviously, all my classes are there, my webinars, my chats. So if you like more of this content, you can find it over there at newbiologyclinic.com. Have a wonderful day, everybody. I'll talk to you soon.